You old timers like Steve and myself will remember when Miami and Notre Dame was a thing back in the late 80s and early 90s. And because of this Notre Dame ACC contract, they get together from time to time. But it's been a long time since it's been viewed as this important. Both teams ranked in the top 10 at Hard Rock Stadium when Miami and Notre Dame get together. We appreciate you being here at the Voice of College Football. Head on over to all the team channels because Steve Merrill's back with us here at the Voice of College Football for a seventh year, and you can catch his analysis of all the big games across the network here at the Voice of College Football. Steve, good to see you. We got Miami and Notre Dame, and a 2.5-point favorite is Notre Dame. And Marcus Freeman didn't win the national championship last year, but Notre Dame definitely had a breakthrough against elite competition. They had lost all those games in big major bowl games, had not won a major bowl game since Lou Holtz was on campus in 1993, and Marcus Freeman beats Penn State. He beats Georgia. He wins 3 college football playoff games. And this Notre Dame team starts a freshman quarterback or a first-time starter in C.J. Carr against a familiar face in Carson Beck, former Georgia quarterback who's transferred to Miami.
Yeah, how crazy is that, right? Carson Beck starting for the Miami Hurricanes. Of course, they lost the number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward, in the NFL draft. And you'd say losing the number 1 overall draft pick, what a drop-off. And then you got Carson Beck coming in, who will not be that great in the NFL, I don't think, like Cam Ward might be. But in college level, that's about as good as you could have for a transfer coming in. I do believe Miami has the new defensive coordinator this year, but the OC should be the same. And this is a team that lost a lot of production. They only have about half of their returning production on offense and a little bit about 60% coming back on defense. And we talked about this a little bit earlier. You know, we did the Florida State-Alabama breakdown. We did a Clemson breakdown against LSU. And we talked about that the ACC has fallen in recent years. Some of the metrics I looked at is Miami of Florida has the 13th best incoming talent in the entire FBS level, 13th in the nation, and that's the best in the ACC. No other team in the ACC was top 10 with incoming talent. So it is a weaker conference. But then the question becomes, does Notre Dame really deserve to be much stronger than that either? Notre Dame is a quasi, obviously, ACC team at times. They play a good amount of these opponents. But like you said, Mark, they had not broken through against top-notch opponents until last year. I thought they were a little bit of a phony national runner-up. Did not think they necessarily were the second-best team in the country, but they beat who they had to beat. They also only return about 50% of their production on offense, only about 60% on defense. And they have C.J. Carr, the young freshman quarterback. They also have a new defensive coordinator. So when you break this game down, I'm not sure Notre Dame is deserving to be a road favorite here against Miami of Florida, and we will keep an eye on where this line goes. As we head into the weekend, it's currently 2.5. 3, of course, is the key number in all of betting when it comes to football. About 9 to 10% chance that Notre Dame could win this game by exactly 3 points. And 2.5 right now is juiced minus $1.15 in some spots. In fact, the South Point in Las Vegas is already hanging a -3. And that's one of the more public books out there. So I do think by Sunday night, we will see more 3s out there. And at 3 or more, I do like Miami of Florida. I run 10,000 game simulation for every game on the board every week. And I've got Notre Dame winning by an average about 1.5 points. So if we get to that key number of 3 or more, I do think there's some line value. And I think the setup is good for Miami, especially with a young, inexperienced quarterback in a hostile environment on national TV. I'd rather have Carson Beck getting points at home in this one.
So you get Steve Merrill's breakdown of Miami and Notre Dame right here, but you can take a tour of our channels here at the Voice of College Football and catch Steve's breakdown of all the major games here in week 1. And then, of course, the Under the Radar selection, that's exclusive to us at the Voice of College Football. Steve, we did the numbers this week, 28-12 against the spread. That's your Under the Radar run.
I've been doing this so long. This is my 30th season as a professional sports handicapper. I didn't run this. I didn't ask AI. I'm pretty sure 28-12 is 70%. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't even calculate.
You've been doing this a while. Yeah.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to have to check myself, but I'm pretty sure it's 7.70.
Yeah, it's 7 and 3. Yeah, times 4. That's
I got to check. Right. They're going to be people at home doing it. Boom, 70% exact. I did. That's 28 divided by 40. 70%.
It is impressive.
I've had some 28-12 runs in other sports, I guess. That's a good sign, right? Let's try to, and we're going to try to increase that. But yeah, 70% of the last few years, that under the radar pick is often an under the radar game, right? We talk about these national spotlight top 25 matchups, but those other games cash just as nicely, as you can tell by that 28-12 record.
And we enjoy that exclusive pick from Steve each and every week now for 7 years. But the complete look, the NFL, it's coming. And Major League Baseball playoffs. wagertalk.com with Steve, you get the entire rundown and the money management system as well. So catch Steve there and catch him across our array of channels here at the Voice of College Football. Great to see you, Steve.
Thanks, Mark.